You ever get that feeling like something is off, but you can't prove it? That's how it started. Not with a fight. Not with a confession. With 2 bottles of dish soap. I remember standing in the kitchen, holding one in my hand, staring at the other already sitting by the sink. Same brand. Same scent. Same almost empty level. I thought maybe I forgot I bought it. But then it happened again. 2 cartons of eggs. 2 packs of paper towels. 2 identical blue mugs, down to the tiny chip on the rim. That's when it stopped feeling like a coincidence and started feeling like a pattern. So I did what anyone would do. I asked him. He laughed. Not a normal laugh either. Too quick. Too sharp. Said, bulk buying. Saves money. But here's the thing. We don't shop in bulk. We don't even have the storage space for it. And yet, every week, something new showed up in pairs. At first, I tried to ignore it. Convince myself it was harmless. But then I noticed something else. The duplicates didn't stay in the house. They disappeared. Quietly. Like they were never meant to be seen. That's when I started watching him. Closely. The late-night trips outside. The way he'd glance at the backyard before locking the door. The way he got tense whenever I mentioned the shed. And here's what made my stomach drop. That shed? He never let me go near it. Not once. Not even when I asked for the rake. He'd say, I'll get it. Every single time. So one night, I decided I wasn't going to ask anymore. I waited until he left. Walked straight to the backyard. And for the first time in years, I opened that shed. What I found inside didn't make sense. Not at first. But once it did, I realized something terrifying. My husband wasn't just hiding things from me. He was preparing for something. And I had no idea what it was. The smell hit me first. Not rot. Not mold. Clean. Too clean. Like walking into a store aisle, sealed off from the real world. I flipped the light on. And just stood there. Shelves. Neat. Organized. Labeled. And on them, duplicates. Rows and rows of them. The same dish soap. The same paper towels. The same blue mugs. But not just that. Toothbrushes. Still in packaging. Shampoo bottles, lined up by brand. Canned food, stacked like a display. Everything we owned was here too. Perfect copies. I stepped closer, my heart starting to race. Because this wasn't random. This was planned. Careful. Intentional. Like someone was building a backup life. Then I noticed the labels. Small pieces of tape on each shelf. Dates. Every single item dated. Weeks. Months. Going back further than I expected. This didn't start recently. This had been going on for a long time. And somehow, I never noticed. I reached for one of the mugs. Same chip on the rim. Exactly the same. That's when something cold settled in my chest. These weren't just duplicates. They were replacements. Like he needed everything twice. But why? I kept looking. And then I saw it. In the far corner. Behind a stack of boxes. A second shelf, different from the rest. Messier. Not labeled. Like it wasn't meant to be seen. I hesitated. Every instinct told me to leave. Close the door. Pretend I never came in here. But I didn't. I walked over. Slowly. And when I pulled the first box forward, something inside shifted. A dull thud. Not like cans. Not like household stuff. Heavier. Personal. I opened it. And the moment I saw what was inside, everything I thought I understood about my husband collapsed. Because sitting right there was a second version of something that shouldn't even exist once. And it had my name on it. I wasn't supposed to find that. My hands were shaking. I pulled the box closer and read it again. My name. Neat. Careful. Intentional. For a second, I tried to explain it away. Maybe it was something sweet. A surprise. Then I opened it. And everything dropped. Inside were my things. Not similar. Mine. My hoodie, the one I lost last winter. My old journal. Missing for months. My hairbrush, with strands still caught in it. I let go of the box like it burned. Why would he take my things and hide them here? Why replace them without telling me? That's when it hit me. What if this isn't hoarding? What if he's recreating something? I kept looking. More boxes. All labeled. Some with my name. Some with his. Some with dates. Dates that mattered. Our anniversary. The day we moved in. Even random days I couldn't place. But he clearly could. I opened another box. Photos. But not the ones in our house. These were different. Wrong angles. Moments I don't remember being captured. Like someone had been watching us, without us knowing. Then I saw it. An envelope. Plain. Sealed. Hidden under everything else. One word written across it. After. After what? My chest tightened. This wasn't random. This was planned. And whatever it was, it involved me. I stared at the envelope, frozen. Every instinct said stop. But I didn't. I opened it. And what I read changed everything. Because suddenly, this wasn't about what he'd been hiding. It was about what he thought was coming next. The paper felt heavier than it should. I skimmed it first. Then I slowed. Then I stopped. Because this wasn't a letter. It was a plan. Clean. Structured. Step by step. Headings. Dates. Instructions. At the top. After she's gone. My stomach dropped. Gone. I kept reading. Replace items immediately. Maintain routine. Do not raise suspicion. My chest tightened. This wasn't grief. This was control. Like he expected me to disappear and already planned what came next. Then I saw the checklist. My clothes. My belongings. Even my documents. Everything about me, listed. Accounted for. Like I was already gone. I felt sick. Because this wasn't rushed. It was calm. Calculated. Then the last section. Circled. Phase 2. My hands went cold. Phase 1 was everything I'd already seen. The duplicates. The boxes. Which meant Phase 2 hadn't happened yet. I read it. Slowly. And my heart started pounding. Because Phase 2 wasn't about replacing things. It was about replacing me. Same routines. Same habits. Same life. Like someone else could step in. And no one would notice. I stepped back, shaking. Everything clicked. Every missing item. Every late night. Every locked door. But one question hit harder than anything. If Phase 2 hasn't started, what is he waiting for? And how close am I to after? I didn't remember leaving the shed. 1 second I was staring at that page. Next, I was inside the house, door locked, heart racing. And that's when I heard it. His car. Pulling into the driveway. Too early. Way too early. My chest tightened. Because I wasn't ready. I shoved the paper into my hoodie and forced myself to breathe. Think. Act normal. The front door opened. Hey. His voice. Calm. Casual. Like nothing was wrong. Like he hadn't just written a plan for a life without me. I stepped into the hallway. Hey, I said back. And for a second, we just looked at each other. Then his eyes shifted. Past me. Toward the backyard. Toward the shed. Just for a split second. But I saw it. That flicker. That check. He knew something was off. Everything okay? He asked. Too casual. Too smooth. I nodded. Yeah. Just cleaning. Silence. Then he smiled. But it didn't reach his eyes. Good, he said. And walked past me. Straight to the back door. My stomach dropped. Because he wasn't hesitating. He wasn't asking. He was going. To the shed. I moved without thinking. Wait, I said. Too fast. Too loud. He stopped. Turned slowly. And in that moment, everything changed. Because the look on his face wasn't confusion. Wasn't concern. It was recognition. Like he knew. Like he'd been expecting this. Did you go in there? He asked. No anger. No panic. Just quiet certainty. My mouth went dry. This was it. I could lie. Pretend. Walk away. Or tell the truth. And find out what after really meant. I swallowed. Tried to steady my voice. But before I could say a word, he took a step closer. And said something that made my blood run cold. You weren't supposed to see that yet. That word, yet, hit different. Not a threat. A timeline. Like this was always going to happen, just not now. My throat tightened. What does that mean? He studied me. Quiet. Focused. Then he exhaled. Okay, he said. We skip ahead. My heart slammed. This isn't what you think. That didn't help. You've been taking my things, I said. Replacing them. What? A pause. Because I had to. Had to. That's not an answer. He stepped closer. Slow. You remember last year? He asked. I froze. Of course. But the way he said it made me doubt it. The night you came home late, he said. My stomach dropped. I was late. That's it. He shook his head. No. It's not. Silence stretched. You were supposed to be gone. Gone. Again. What are you talking about? He rubbed his face. Tired. I fixed it, he said quietly. I made sure nothing changed. My chest tightened. Fixed what? He looked at me, really looked. And for the first time, he looked afraid. There was an accident, he said. My mind went blank. That night, you didn't just come home late. I shook my head. I'd remember. That's the problem, he said. You don't. The room tilted. What are you saying? He hesitated. And in that moment, something worse clicked. He wasn't hiding anymore. He was about to explain. And I wasn't sure I wanted it. Because if he was right, then this wasn't about him losing control. It meant I already lost something. Something I can't remember. And whatever it was, it's why he started preparing. For after. I wanted to laugh. I actually did. Because my brain refused to accept what he was saying. I don't remember an accident, I said again, slower this time. He nodded like he expected that. That's because it didn't stay in your memory the way it happened. My stomach dropped. He walked past me, straight into the kitchen, and sat down like this was just another conversation. Like he hadn't just shattered my reality. I've been trying to keep everything stable, he said. That's why the duplicates exist. My voice came out thin. You're not making sense. He looked up at me. And for the first time, he didn't soften his words. You ever notice how things slip? He asked. How something disappears, and you swear you had it, but you can't prove it? My mind flashed. The soap, the mugs, the journal, the shed. I didn't answer, because I already knew where this was going. I started keeping backups, he said, just in case your memory didn't hold. My chest tightened. Just in case what? I whispered. He hesitated. Then, just in case the reset happened again. Silence. Heavy. Crushing. Reset. I repeated. He nodded. That night wasn't the first time. My skin went cold. There was a pattern, he said quietly. And every time it started slipping, I had to rebuild everything before you noticed. I stepped back. No, that's not real. But even as I said it, I couldn't shake the feeling. The gaps. The missing items. The way certain days felt blurred. He stood up slowly. I didn't want you to find the shed, he said. That's the part you're not supposed to see. My breath caught. Why? He looked at me for a long moment, then said the final thing I never expected. Because phase 2 isn't me replacing your life. It's me trying to stop someone else from taking it again. A long silence. Then from outside, the shed light flickered on, even though no one was there. And he whispered, and we might already be out of time.